Okay guys, thanks for coming to my site. I'm going to show you how I do some trading, and right now I'm going to be showing you the SPY 5 minutes, and here's my system. Now I am a member of TradingView, and so I have a couple indicators here that you're going to be using. CM Slingshot System, you can see right here, SEMA by Selnak, and down here an important one is the Super Oscillator. Alright, now the reason why I use the CM slingshot system is I have to know when this ribbon right up here goes red or green, because that'll help me decide when I want to trade. Alright, so you can see when I take it off, now I'm blind. Okay, and this is basically an EMA indicator, which lets me know if it's above or below the line, and I'll bring that in later. So first of all, what I use for the 5 minute is basically buy or sell. So down here on the Super Oscillator, here's what's up. If it's between 13:45 and 9:30 the next morning, I'll get in a trade depending on where this is going. I prefer it right at open. So I hold it towards the end of the day unless I get a signal like dots telling me to get out. So for instance, if this was coming down before the end of the day, let's say I had a dot right here telling me to get out, I would just sell. Okay, so a dot below this purple line is get out if you're a short. On the top, if it's up here near the top, is get out if you're long. So other than that, I just hold until the end of the day. It's the same day situation. So it's basically you get up, and if you see an S at the open right here, this S shows up. Then I go ahead and well, I use options. I go ahead and buy a debit spread put option, and I hold it towards the end of the day if I don't get an exit signal like a dot here, and that's it. This is about a 90% trade, so this is pretty good. Let's go back and look at a few more examples. So right here on the 11th, the market opened, and suddenly it flashes a buy signal with that B square at the bottom. Okay, so I'm trying to go on, but I have some things showing up on the screen when I do that. So this B shows up right at open. All right, so it just blinks on, and that tells me to buy. So I get in, I buy a call debit spread. I usually just use debit spreads. I don't use trade options. They're a little too flighty for me. I use debit spread, and I'll get in a debit spread right outside the money. So I will show you how to do a debit spread in a second. So right here, I get in a debit spread, and I start holding it. It's going up, and I usually do N+1 debit spread, which means if it was N+0, it would be the same day expiration. N+1 is that day +1, so it would expire the next day. But since I'm only holding it one day, I do N+1, so N+1 means it expires the next day. Okay, but I'm not going to be in it the next day. Usually, hardly ever. So it comes up now. You see, there's some dots up here. I usually exit around the top of where the dots are, and I get out. Okay, so that's profit. Let's go back, and now I said anywhere from 13:45, which would be this, all the way to 9:30. Okay, so here's one right here. So I'm going to do just before 9:30. I'm going to do a put debit spread, and I'm going to hold till the end of the day unless I get a dot. Now, just so happens right at the end of the day, I got a dot, a get out dot, so I'll get out there. Okay, and then right here, I don't like it when I get an indicator next to another indicator. Only when they're on top of each other like this will I take it. This I ignore. Okay, and so I'm not going to do anything that day. Let's see, here's the 5th. Is there anything at 9:40? That's too late. And right here, 13:25, that's too early. Remember, it's 13:45 to 9:30, but I prefer right at the open. Let's see what happened the day before. Here's a buy, 13:50. All right, so I get in, debit call spread. I hold, and And see, I'm not getting a dot, but I might just get out anyway. Like right here, 606, and it was 603, 604. I might get out, especially since I see the sell signal here. So I might get out there. All right. So then the next day, let's go back earlier. Okay, so this is too early. That's at 1310, so I ignore it. So right here, buy. See, I could use this one. I would probably get in here. So now the next day, it starts going wrong with me. So it doesn't expire this day, it expires the next day. So I might just hold it as in screw it. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens. So I do, and I make money. And so I get out. All right, so let's look at this day. So let's see, buy, right it open, the B shows up. Remember, it wasn't there, and all of a sudden it just pops, and I'll show you an example of how it shows up. So let me do a replay here. Set it about right here. And we'll be looking at the bottom of the screen here as it goes forward in real time with the replay. All right. So that's going a little slow. All right. So remember, right on the 29th it opened, the S is going to show up. All right. Like you're looking down here at the bottom. And boom, there's the buy. Right open, just how I like it. I get in, and I hold, and I wait for any dot or any action up here. Yeah, let's try to move this forward a little faster. Okay, I'm still holding. Still holding. All right, we're way up in the gray there, so I might just like get out right there. Yep, there's the dot. I'm out. So this is a pretty solid system. And as you can see, there's not too many losses. Now, of course, you don't want to go 100% each time you go in. So let's say you have $200, which is pretty good to start with. You can start with a $50 debit spread. I would just stick with the 50s for a couple times, and then maybe move your way up to 100, and then maybe move your way up to 150, but only if your total pile is climbing. You know what I mean? So this is a 90% system. You'll lose maybe 1 out of 10 times with this, but if you have a big enough pile and you only use 10 to 20 to 30% of your pile on each individual trade, you should be okay. So basically, here's one particular you might want to know about. So right here today on the 13th, there was a buy. Okay. Now, one thing I did not tell you is you always look at up here the volume. All right. So this was a buy, but then why was there such a huge selling volume right here? So that tends to tell me it's a false signal, because then I wouldn't get in. Just a big red spike right around the time where my buy shows up, and you could see it went wrong. You know what I mean? It went down. Look at the other ones. Okay, so you have a sell here. So yeah, there's bigger red spikes over here, even though it's not as tall. So that kind of follows, because there's like larger red spikes than any green spikes of volume I see around here. All right, here's a buy. Okay, I'm checking the volume. I don't see any big, tall red spikes, but I see a big. I'd have to turn off the. Indicator here so you could see it. Where is it? All right, right here. So let's turn off the candlestick so you could see. All right, so as you could see, there's a big green spike here. So that follows. So I just want to make sure that the volume is following what it's telling me down here. So buy should have a spike in the buy section, right? Let's go back over here. So sell overbought. So that's at 9:25. So I pretty much make that in on time. Overbought. Now, overbought's telling me that it's strained. That's too much people have bought it, and it should be going down. Even though I'm seeing like a green spike over here, that kind of gets overwritten by an overbought, saying that there's a lot of there's too many people, there's too much pressure that's going to be sending it down soon. So now let's look over here. Once again, I don't like these next to each other like that. We skip that. Let's see, that is at 9:45. Nope. That is at 13:25. Nope. That is at 11:15. New. Buy at 13:15. Yes. All right. Let's look. Is there any volume spikes? All right. Now, I didn't see any volume spikes around here for like a couple, for a couple minutes here. All the way almost to, to the next day. So I didn't see anything the next day. Plus, this is like overbought, and that should be going down. But I say screw it. If I didn't see it anywhere around by where I was buying it, so here's the B, everything looked copacetic, so I'm in. All right, so for the most part, this is like 9 out of 10 times this works out. Let's see, this is 9:25. This is 14:30, 14:25. All right, here's a buy, and then it's somewhere near it. There's that spike of green, so I'm in. So the only time you really don't want to get in is right around the time where you see. If I saw around here, around B, and anywhere in this area, I saw maybe from here to here, I saw a red spike that's bigger than any green spikes. I probably wouldn't get in because that's the volume's telling me otherwise. So. Alright, that's my beginning video. Thank you very much for listening, and yeah, it's about 9 out of 10 times. And I'm going to be posting my buys and sells on this webpage. Alright, thank you.